There is a solution for every problem. There is not a problem for which there is no solution. And that solution has to come from deep within, not from your rational mind, but from the intuitive mind, combined with the rational mind. But the most important thing is the intuitive mind. It has a greater understanding of reality, of solving problems. The intuitive mind is the feminine. The masculine and the feminine are in both the male and the female. A male is not just a male, and a female is not a female. They are both. The success of a man is because of his female part or the feminine part. And that is one of the theories in Western psychology. But in India, they are very, very clear. The female has the ability to intuitively know, structure, organize meticulously. And that's why they are able to create. A man is only responsible for starting a creation, but he doesn't know the conceptual level within the womb, and then the nurturing part of it, and then the care. All these are due to the feminine. Why am I talking about all these things? Because in the upcoming 9 nights of the goddess, I'm going to talk about the feminine. The feminine is called Shakti. What does the word Shakti mean? Shakti in Sanskrit and in Tamil also means power. Many years ago, I gave a talk on why did the Indian culture attribute power to the woman, whereas they are not powerful in society, economically, socially, religiously. Why still they called it a Shakti? Power. What kind of a power? It is the intuitive, creative power. And that is true of Jesus too. Jesus' resurrection is attributed to Mother Mary, to the womb chakra. The womb chakra is a very, very powerful chakra. The womb is the protector energy. It protects and it gives you the energy of intuition. So all these are necessary from a practical standpoint for anyone to succeed in any area of life. You have to have that intuitive power. And it is not simply an intuitive power, it is also a power of might. It's also attributed to the woman. She's mighty. And all that have to be understood and utilized in one's life if you want to be successful. Most religious organizations, spiritual organizations have more women That is true of Jesus too. He had more women than men. But they did not succeed. Why? Because they lacked the understanding of how to use their Shakti, their power. And also learn certain political issues between two women fighting. All that are practical issues which I will talk about during these 9 nights of the goddess. In the 9 nights of the goddess, the ferocious, the killer part of the feminine is emphasized. So it is a matter of understanding what is going to give you that particular type of consciousness, motivation. What is going to give you the great nurturing growth factor and at a very, very subtle atomic levels or at the level of the mantras. The mantras were discovered by the yogis and rishis because they wanted to solve problems at the very fundamental level, at the genetic level, at the level of origin. They always talked about go to the root, go to the seed and do some changes there. Whether you want to have, a fighter attitude, there is a goddess. The fighting goddess is Kali, Durga. There are mantras for them. And the loving goddess is more like Lakshmi. And she is into more luxury and loving very naturally, clothes, homes, all kinds of luxury items. And that again is getting to know what creates that set of mind, that attitude, that characteristics. That's what I'm going to do something new during this Navaratri program of initiation. And I'm going to initiate you into how to go to the very root of feminine power that is reflected not only in the archetypal feminine of the goddesses and angels, including Mary, but how that is related to the human female. The human female also is a replica in a miniature form of the divine feminine. So that is why the word mantra has become so famous, because it has almost become an English word. A mantra is like a password. And using that mantra to, to get quick results. Many years ago, about 20, 30 years ago, I was in New York and I was teaching a program, and then I was teaching the mantra for highest intuition, intellect, and that is the mantra called I'm. And the one guy stood up and then said, "Oh my God," he was a teacher, and he said, "My students were using this mantra and they were all doing good." And this was organized by a group that was teaching Saraswati's mantra. Saraswati is the goddess of education, but they were never told that it is the mantra for the goddess of education. So your intelligence, your intellect will be intact. But he admitted to me that uh, uh, that there is proof for that. So I'm going to just do uh, give you some bija mantras. It's a bija means the seed. The seed carries the whole tree. So you need the seed. You need the genes that can enhance your intuitive power. It's not just only going to help the feminine alone. I told you that the male is not just a male, but it's a male and a female, so vice versa. So it's a program just not only for women, but also for men. The reason why I mentioned that, as I told you, that I have more women followers, just like any other religious group is, because the women are more into spirituality, into intuition by nature. So that is what I will give you an initiation. An initiation is just receiving the mantra from someone who has realized it. You receive it from the guru who has realized it and who knows it, who has lived it. And so that it is a dynamic live transmission. And it is not only the case of receiving something, a mantra from the guru, but whatever an enlightened master thinks has the potential to manifest. So that is what is going to happen during this goddess program, where I will give you an initiation and I will talk. I have something in mind now, but I will change it down the road, because for me, as I have told you many times, every second is new. And that is a very important thing that you have to understand. That you may plan on something and then kind of freeze it. This is what I going to do. This is my retirement plan. This is how I going to retire and die. That is the consensus model. That's not acceptable to me or even for anyone. So I'm going to give something that is going to be a lot more powerful and useful than what I could conceive of at this moment. That is one program which I think is, I made a notice, it is on, the program is on the 4th of October. And then also another program which I also announced is the October 5th. I think it's the October 5th. And also where I'm going to talk about paradise, ascension. See, when Jesus gave my Lord's Prayer, the most important point or prayer is, thy heaven should come down to the earth plane. Heaven on earth is not a cliche, but it is also what Jesus wanted to give to human beings. He knew how difficult it is to deal with life on the earth plane with the physical body. aging, diseases, malfunctioning. And that is the nature. The nature of the body is to suffer primarily. Of course, there is some pleasure based on the sense pleasures, but that is not long lasting, but everyone has to die, pick up diseases on the way. I came to this earth plane every time I came to this earth plane, my goal has been to deal with this problem of the human body and mind. The body is a monkey. The mind is a monkey mind, and doesn't know what is the future, what is the present, or what we expect, and all these things. We go wrong in everything we think, and that we are aware of that. That's why one thought leads to another thought, and then cancels another thought, and another thought comes. Because every thought is a battle to figure out what is the best I can have. Okay, but then seldom we think about, why the hell we are thinking so many thoughts? Why? What are we trying to get? But if, the answer is simple. It's all we want to have more money, more pleasures, more comforts. But we don't think about what is the purpose of life. We don't think about the past lives we have had and the future lives we are going to have. Or if we don't want to think about all those things, at least think about, is there a way that I can have what is called evolution? Because evolution is, people are willing to think about evolution. What is the evolution of the human race? The evolution is to put an end to suffering. Suffering will keep continuing, no matter what. Even if you are a billionaire and you have to relieve all the billions and die as a victim to cancer, what can you do? You cannot do anything. Why? Because we have not tried to work on immortality. Immortality is something that every religion has talked about, including Christianity. The eternal life. Paul made it very clear. This corruption will not inherit the kingdom, because this is a corrupt body. The flesh will not give you the kingdom. It will never inherit the kingdom. Then why did Christianity think about that? That's why Jesus used to kill his body. Which was give his body as a sacrifice, so that there will be a glorious light body, and with which he's going to incarnate. So this is the thing that I have worked on and on and on in all my life. And then every time that I came here, and I have improved upon it, and I'm going to teach that to you. And then also give an insight into two types of heaven. Don't think that the heaven is only one. There are too many heavens on this earth plane, and you will get the heaven you want. And I just want to mention about two different heavens. One is a material heaven, and as Krishna knows, Krishna is the Hindu god, the party god, which is complete, absolute luxury. The most important thing about getting the material resources is that they are prerequisite to have pleasure, happiness, joy, all these things. And there is a model, and you can use the model and create it. And the model is provided by a set of beings, set of gods and angels that belong to the Vishnu category. Vishnu is the god of matter, material wealth, pleasure, happiness. And he has a heaven, and that heaven is filled with pleasure. It's interesting, many years ago, in Sedona, I was teaching a course. Mother Teresa had passed away. And in the newspaper that morning, I was reading that Mother Teresa knew about her death through a dream. And after she died, she went to heaven. She was not allowed. And she shared this with one of I think the Greek, he was in Greece at the time, the prince. I couldn't believe that I felt so bad when I was not allowed in. My soul went there that they wouldn't let me in. Why? She asked. Because here, if you go, you will be miserable. Why? Because this is a wrong heaven for you. This heaven is a party heaven. People are partying 24 hours a year. So you will be miserable. You will be happy to a different type of heaven. I don't want to go into that. So even this is a real story that she narrated. So Krishna's heaven is not only somewhere you go, it's called Vaikunta, after death, but you can have heaven on earth provided you use his mantras, which I will teach, and then I will also talk about it. And that is a one set of heaven. But I'm not going to talk about only that. I will also mention, but primarily I will talk about Krishna's heaven, because we are now living at a time of economic hardship. Prices are going up, inflation is there. So I decided that I would focus more on Krishna's heaven, so that it is not only giving you the heaven after death, but also the heaven while on earth. And it is also, again, fine-tuning your mind and thought process and your neurons and your genes to live that. Because, my own purpose of coming to this earth plane is not to teach old mantras and old technology, but a new technology that I have proved in many ways, which I cannot share with you, because most of them I have patent constraints, which I use in my discoveries in science and technology. But anyway, so there is no need for you to understand the mechanism of action or anything, but all that I have to give you is just to give a chocolate, and then you can enjoy it. And then the other type of heaven is the heaven which I personally like and prefer, not over one against the other, but the one of the light body. We are fundamentally body, carry the light. Light is our fundamental, basic reality, but we don't realize this. But we are only thinking all the time from morning till evening is about the physical body, the physical mind, the thought process is geared to enhancing the body's health and the body's happiness and so forth, but never ever focus attention. We are fundamentally light particles. And why are we not doing that? Just because nobody has taught us to do that, because the whole society is geared to, the body, putting it in a good home, nice furniture, nice car, and so forth. But but then nobody thinks, oh, you are light, and you can be everywhere. Although, as I said, even Paul said, this corruption will never inherit the kingdom. Don't be misled. So I'm going to put equal attention because it is favorite thing for me, and that's why I came here to this discipline. So the light body of Swami Ramalingam. And I failed in many lifetimes to provide light body, although I'm in many lifetimes, I got the light body. In many lifetimes I've died, in the millions of lifetimes I have had. And so you are. So those of you who respond to whatever I am going to teach, you will respond not because of what I have said, but what you have experienced in your previous lifetimes. So this time I'm going to say how you can focus on your light body, and living the light body is also moving at the speed of light, at peace. There is and also losing the concept of time. So momentarily, I am going to teach you how in a day, many times you can go in and out of this world and into the world of light. And that will help you to live 200% life. So basically, this is going to be the outline of what I'm going to do on these upcoming programs that I'm going to do. And so I want you to take advantage of it. It's all going to be something that I have been discovering. So what I'm discovering now is not going to be as good as I'm going to deliver then. But definitely this will be the general outline of what I'm going to do for the upcoming programs. God bless.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Pillai, for that poignant message. So Dr. Pillai mentioned that we're moving into the age of ascension and that he is going to help us with this process through 3 primary live events. And I'll tell you a little bit about what they are. So they are October 2nd, the 4th, and the 5th. October 2nd is when Dr. Pillai talked about Krishna and creating and welcoming his abode of light, and how we will be able to move into this with Dr. Pillai's blessings as well as Krishna's grace. On October 4th, that is when the initiation for the goddess will take place. And that will happen on a very special day, which is the 10th night of Navaratri. Navaratri is the 9 nights of the goddess. And on the 10th night, it's considered the night of victory. It's when the goddess celebrates her victory over evil. And this is the night, the most important night, that Dr. Pillai will be giving us this initiation to the goddess, her consciousness, her intuitive abilities. And as he said, all of this will come through him spontaneously and divinely. So we will see exactly what that will be, but getting to the root of what we need in order to help us blossom, have her Shakti, and allow that to make a difference in our life. The third event is on October 5th, and this is Swami Ramalingams. What I understand is his birthday, and Dr. Pillai talked about how we are all particles of light, and that this is the Age of Ascension. These initiations will help all of us to lay the foundation of what we need in order to be aligned with, prepare for, and move into this age with Dr. Pillai's blessings. So Pillai Center has several events prepared for you. Let me just tell you a little bit about what they are. So for the goddess, the 9 nights of the goddess, we have a few preparatory sessions, which begin on, which day they begin? The 22nd, I believe, of September. And there's a link below this video that has our free community events. So 3 days prior to the 9 nights of the goddess, you will have be connecting with Pillai Center teachers to know what to do, really gear up for this amazing once a year power time of these 9 nights of Shaktis. And then during the 9 nights of the goddess, we are hosting a session every day on different goddesses. So the traditional goddesses that are worshipped and honored during this time are Durga, to remove anything that is in our way. She can clear out our karma and our ego and our illusion. Next, we move into 3 days of Lakshmi, giving us prosperity and beauty. The final 3 days are Saraswati, the goddess of education, of wisdom, of intuition. And so we'll have all of those as our free, preparatory sessions in order to meet Dr. Pillai on the 10th night, which is Navaratri's Night of Victory, Goddess's Night of Victory. So that is all of the ways we're bringing in the community to get together to prepare for this session. Then, if you'd like to participate in Dr. Pillai's initiation, and I'm not sure why the screen changed. Ronnie, if you could take the pictures off, I don't think. Oh, show the pictures. So right now we are looking at these 2 pictures. It's an example of a Siddha from 75 years ago with an etheric body. And then the picture of Dr. Pillai next to it. So you can see the image on the one side that is it looks like 2 images, and it's his etheric body. And then the Dr. Pillai's picture, which was taken some years ago, is similar in that it shows both his physical body as well as his particle body or his light body. And then I'm just getting this information now. Dr. Pillai wanted us to see these 2 images side by side and the similarities of how Dr. Pillai's light body is being shown, as well as with this Siddha from 75 years ago. And this will be part of Dr. Pillai's teachings on October 5th for the Swami Ramalingams teachings and the light body. So I'm sure we will hear more about the specifics of that as we attend and this journey with Dr. Pillai for these several days coming. So thank you for showing that. So as I was saying, the Navaratri nights, we have these 9 nights. We have the preparatory sessions, those are all free, and those will be hosted on Pillai Center Practice. In fact, there's a link below this video which has a page describing all of those things and where to go and when. So please take a look at that. Next, we have the program in which you could join, and that is also 9 nights, 9 days of celebrations. We will be hosting daily pujas and meditations with Pillai Center teachers that are using Dr. Pillai's meditations that he's given in a prior year. We'll also be having fire rituals, fire labs, hosted by Swami Ramalingams, who is our priestess at Pillai Center, who will be giving us a fire lab at the end of each 3 nights. So it is said that the goddess comes in for the first 2 nights and is destroying evil and doing her work. And on the 3rd night, that's her power, right? So she's gained her energy, her power, and the 3rd day is her most intense time. So that's why we're doing the fire ritual, the fire lab, on the 3rd night. So the 3rd night of Durga, we'll have a Durga fire lab. The 3rd night of Lakshmi fire lab. The 3rd night of Saraswati, we'll have the Saraswati's fire lab. And then, as I said, the 10th night of the entire duration will be Dr. Pillai's initiation. So you'll be receiving those live pujas with a Pillai Center teacher, facilitator, as well as meditations with a recording from Dr. Pillai, and then the fire labs. There are also a lot of rituals being performed in India, different power spots that are holding the energy, that seed power that Dr. Pillai referenced of the Shaktis, the variety of different Shaktis, hundreds of different pujas and rituals will be done for you in India during these 9 nights. So there is one aspect of our program that you can get, which is called the all-inclusive, and that is everything. That is the session with Dr. Pillai, that is all the sessions with the Pillai Center teachers, and then that is the a very power-packed ritual package that has everything done for you in India at these amazing power spots, as well as our own temple, which Dr. Pillai has blessed. So those are your options in terms of ways to connect with the goddess for the 9 nights. And we hope that you really want to jump into this opportunity, because it is the most powerful time of the whole year. There is a Navaratri, 9 nights in the spring, but it is said that this fall time is the most powerful time for her. Huge celebrations all around India, and Dr. Pillai brings that power right to us through Zoom. So we're very grateful for that. So that's Navaratri. And then we have the 2 nights, the 2 sessions with Dr. Pillai, as I mentioned before, for October 2nd and 5th. And where he is calling that the Age of Ascension to Paradise. And that is with your initiations into Krishna, as well as Ramalingam in the light body. Now for this program, there's actually a couple different ways that you can participate. And one is you can choose either day, the Krishna or the Ramalingam, or you can choose both. And then when you choose both of them together, there are rituals being done on your behalf in India for both Krishna and Ramalingam for your light body, as well as your heaven on earth experience of divinity and 200% life. There are also several different sessions with Dr. Pillai per day. So what we've organized is in the morning, he will give a 2-hour teaching empowerment for both of those days. And then in the evening, he is going to do a 1-hour initiation specifically into what he taught that day. So it'll build upon. So the first 2 hours are your empowerment and teaching sessions, probably meditation, whatever else divinely comes through him. And then the evening is a more intense experience of an initiation. And I'm not sure if the link is below this video, but when this is released, you'll be able to see which ways you can participate in that in terms of the premier session and the fundamental session. So those are the opportunities that Dr. Pillai has made available, amazing blessings that we have coming to us during this incredible time of awakening and ascension. So if you have any questions, I will be happy to see if I can respond to them in the chat. I'm just going to take a look at that now. There are some early enrollment opportunities where you can receive, for example, with the 9 Nights of the Goddess rituals, there's several different bonus pujas that can be done on your behalf, and so you can take advantage of those. For the Navaratri with Dr. Pillai, we are offering an early enrollment savings of up to 30%. So, and that expires on September 22nd. So that's very quick. So if you're interested in this and would like to enjoy those savings, then I would encourage you to take a look at that page and see what options work best for you. We have offered several different ways to participate in order to make it easier for you. We've also provided payment plans. And if you have any questions at all, please contact us at office@pillaicenter.com. We are always happy to answer those and see what we can do to help you participate. All right, let's see if there are any questions. I don't see any yet. And then once we have our page ready for the, oops, I think it is ready. Sorry about that. I apologize, and correction. There is the Age of Ascension to Paradise page ready for you. We have it linked below this video. So please take a look at that. There are payment plans for all the options, and we are doing our very best to make this available to everyone who wants to join. This is a sacred time for Dr. Pillai, And many of you might have already heard his message. In fact, while I'm waiting for questions, I will read the message that he sent just a few days ago, which is, "We have lived so far an insignificant life, not worthy of our human birth. The purpose of human birth is to evolve into higher forms like gods. Many religions talk about evolution as going to heaven with an angelic body of light. The transformation of flesh and blood into light particles, waves, happens during the golden age, which comes in a cyclical rotation after millions of years. Fortunately, we are on the verge of entering into the golden age. This period can start anytime from now on and continue to blossom for millions of years. Upcoming months will provide to be a wake-up call for conscious individuals to choose your destiny. What is the prerequisite? Commitment for evolution as a top priority and purpose of life. Certainly, ascended masters are waiting for you." So that is the beautiful message that Dr. Pillai recently put out. And these events are ways for us to begin to experience the Age of Ascension, the golden age. So let me check if there are any questions. If not, we will wrap up. Someone's asking about the cost or an exchange, and that is on the page. If you link to that for the initiation with Dr. Pillai, it is $128, which is the early enrollment price. And after that, it goes to $144. And then if you want to join the premiere, and that's the fundamental, that is Dr. Pillai, just that one night, and one post-event session. Then if you want to join the full 9 nights, it's $198 early enrollment or $222. And the all-inclusive is $645 or $675 after the early enrollment. Now, you might notice if you've been with us that these prices are priced so that you are all able to join us. We really want to make this available. And if we just sure hope that you can. So, but there does need to be some energetic exchange in order to receive an exchange, right? Like Dr. Pillai is giving to us in a very generous way, and we have to make some sacrifice and give back. Wonderful. So I think that is all the questions that I see. Again, important dates. If you'd like to enjoy the early enrollment savings, please enroll in the Navaratri or 9 Nights of the Goddess, all 9 nights, or the initiation with Dr. Pillai, or the initiation, the 9 nights, and the rituals performed on your behalf in India by September 22nd. And then for the Age of Ascension to Paradise, the early enrollment is September 28th. So you have a little bit more time on that one. That one has payment plans, and we laid it all out for you so you can decide what works best for you and your budget, your time frame. But we do hope that we see you on all 3 of these very important and amazing sessions. And Dr. Pillai is and continues to go into silence more and more. And we are so grateful for anything that he provides to us in a direct transmission, in which he will be doing on these 3 days. Now, please understand, having 3 hours of Dr. Pillai in one day is also a very rare event. We haven't had anything like this since we were doing live events, whether we went to India or we did events in the United States. So it is quite the opportunity for us to be able to connect with him for that long of a period of time, and really be immersed in his darshan, his energy transmission, of course, his enlightenment and his blessings. So we hope to see you there. And I wish you all an amazing week. Happy Navaratri. Namaste.